come out into the woods today just for a little walk, and I'm trying grounding. I think it's called grounding or earthing. Really connecting with the ground beneath my feet. Take my shoes and socks off and just really feel what it feels like to just connect. There's a few spiky twigs in there, but generally it's actually pretty nice. All the leaves underfoot and the moss. I wanted this video to be about the difference between mindfulness and slow living, because they are kind of sort of bedfellows, if you like. They share a lot of similarities, and both mindfulness and slow living ask us to really be present in the moment and to savor the experiences that we're having. Slow living comes from Italy originally, and it was kind of a response to a fast food joint that opened up in Rome, and all the local Italians who enjoy their food and enjoy the experience of going to a restaurant and drinking wine and spending time with their friends, having good conversation, really didn't appreciate this notion of fast food, just functional food, if you like, just being served up quickly. And I think there's been a bit of a crossover now. If you go onto Instagram or any of the Pinterest, any of the social networks or whatever, and search for mindfulness, you get a lot of this kind of notion of drinking coffee in fancy coffee shops and reading books and reading poetry and stuff like that, and having a good luxurious life of nice things, quaint teacups and fusty old books and lovely light coming in sideways from the window. And that's perfectly acceptable. I love the idea of that, and I try and get as much of that kind of luxurious indulgence into my life as possible, savouring every moment as much as I can. But mindfulness actually asks us to be aware and present, not just in the things we do in relation to the outside world, but to be introspective in the things that are going on inside us. So we talk about things like how are we feeling right now? What are we thinking? How are these external stimuli making us feel and react inside? And what do those feelings tell us about us? Often the way we react to a certain situation, we think that it's in response to that situation, but our reaction often tells us a lot more about us than it does about the situation we're in. So if something is making us angry, it's not necessarily the thing that is angering us that is the problem, but it's our reaction to it. Some people are angered very easily, some people not at all. And you would think if something was that irritating, it would anger everyone equally. But it doesn't. And, there's something to be said about the things that trigger a reaction within us. What does that tell us about who we are and the way we respond to things? We can learn a lot about how to navigate this world by looking inside. Thich Nhat Hanh famously said, the way out is in. And if we want to alleviate the suffering and the friction that we find in our lives, the discontent, if you like, then, we can do a lot of things on the outside, but sometimes we have to look inside and just say, maybe the reason I'm dissatisfied is because of an imbalance in my expectations or an imbalance in what I find acceptable in life. So there you are, a little thought today on the difference between mindfulness and slow living. And they're certainly part and parcel of each other, but if you really want to get to the nuts and bolts of mindfulness, you have to look in while you're sipping your coffee and reading your poetry in your delicious, gorgeous coffee shop.